Welcome back to the show, guys. Morning. Sorry for that little confusion. You know, it's early in the morning. A girl is still waking up. Now, you are watching Relationship Wednesday on KTN Life and Style. If you are just joining us, we are here with Anne and Derek. But I want you to watch some videos first because today we are talking infidelity and trying to understand why people cheat and how it is you can recover from that in a relationship, if you can recover at all. So let's watch some of these videos about what people had to say on the streets.
Hakuna vile unaweza juenda ulale na mtu mwingine na unachoka na mtu mwingine hapa. Hiyo ni kudanganyana. Huyu hajui kama kuna mtu hapa. Na yule hajui. Sasa mtu mwenye anajua ni huyu hapo katika. Huyu mwenye ako katikati ndo anajua. Sasa huyu mwenye ako katikati ndo awaambie ukweli kitu yenye inaendelea. Ambie mmoja aache mwingine. Sasa hiyo lazima uambie mmoja. Kama uwezi chukua wao watu wote, uwezi wachukua wote.
So you've heard what people have to say. This I like the description of mtu sasa akiwa katikati ni responsibility ndio anajua ambiane. Anyway, like I said, we are here with Anne, who's a psychologist, and we're here with Derek, who's had his own personal experience with that. Now, Anne, I want to ask you, just very simply, which is probably the first question we should have actually started with, why do people cheat?
Okay.
I think that's a heavy one. Yeah, because I asked on social media because I wanted to like maybe do a poll and just see.
Yeah.
So I asked people, do you think it's usually opportunity or do you think it's usually loneliness and problems in your current relationship? And people had a myriad of responses. But you're an expert of the mind here. So I want to ask you,
Yes.
why is it do you think people cheat?
All right. Of course, I could look at this in two ways. First is what people use. The reason why they cheat, things to do with, I don't feel emotionally attached or emotionally, the emotional part of me is not being met by my spouse. So I found another person who is actually meeting that part of my life. And so because of that kind of attention they're giving to the other partner, something starts cropping up and, the outcome. So there could be that. Or just for having other sexual partners to have a different experience from probably what you're used to. Those are just some of the reasons they use. They've fallen out of love, so they feel like they're in love with someone else. There could be several. They're going through several challenges in their relationship.
Okay.
And so they are not finding a good a ground to resolve some of those issues. So they get another place for a source of comfort and anything, and from that relationship, something again crops up, and hence the outcome of infidelity. They could people use different reasons, but at the end of it all, I believe that it is a personal responsibility to be disciplined and self-controlled. Because honestly, in anything, I could always look for a reason why I want to cheat, why I want to do something different from what is a value to me. I could always look for different reasons. But basically, I feel lack of discipline and lack of self-control, despite all the reasons that, a spouse will use. Yeah. And again, I believe that there's always a higher power that also helps us. Because it's true, there could be moments of weakness, where the women respond to some of these feelings and desires is different from women. Men tend to be easily carried away easily, especially even just by sight. Okay? But I also believe some of these things, because it's also a challenge, there's a higher supernatural power that can really come in and really strengthen you. Right. Because I believe it's not easy. You could be going through something in your marriage and you feel someone is really responding to you better. You feel like there's just that vulnerable moment that you feel like, oh, this person has really met a need in my life, and I just want to really make it special for that person, appreciate that person, different from what I'm getting from, from my spouse, from my mate. And so as a result, I just allow that to happen, because I really allow it. I can
Right.
decide I won't, but I can decide to really give in. So the decision still entirely lies on me as a
Definitely.
person.
So you agree, ni ule mtu ako katikati.
Yeah.
Ule anafaa ambie huyu waendelea, wacha nibaki na huyu.
Yes.
It's entirely what is going on. The battle is within us.
Right.
Yeah, and so we can still get a hold of it when it's still within us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe, Derek, did your wife give any of the reasons above?
You know, the only reason that she said was like, we're separated, we're living different.
Oh,
in
yeah,
a
I
different
figured.
way, you know.
Yeah.
But then I was like, this is not the reason why we separated. We didn't separate for you to go out there and have other men.
So you had the conversation after the cheating?
Yeah, it has been coming over and over and over, and but we are glad now we are overcoming it.
Oh, you are? You know, I wanted to understand, because the video went public, it was super viral, if I can even use the word super before viral, like it's already popular. And the thing is, she didn't feel humiliated, because I would be depressed, like, yo, now everybody knows I'm a cheater, thanks.
That's obvious. She feels she did something bad, and she's now going through the repercussions of what she did. But then, what comforts her is the fact that
Maybe
I
you
forgive
can
her.
put- yeah.
The fact that I forgave her, I think that also gave her strength.
Wait,
And,
did she ask for the forgiveness, or you just offered it?
she did ask for it, and I offered it.
And the humiliation thing for the video, honestly,
I know it was tough, because
yeah.
it was tough.
Did you apologize for that as well?
Me?
Because I feel like you needed to apologize.
I did, and I pulled down the videos.
Yeah, the video went out. It's unfortunate when something is on the internet. It's
always
never
gonna be
forgotten,
there.
but forgotten. But yeah, forgotten.
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think what Derek is saying, that some of the reasons, even long distance relationships, you know, that point, anything that will make you very vulnerable towards a different person is something to become aware of, you know. And that's why even as couples, we need to constantly know what is it that would make me very vulnerable to fall into this trap of having someone else fulfill that. Like I'm saying, it's still not a good justifiable reason, but it's good to constantly have that self-awareness of what are some of those tendencies that I get to experience that can make me easily fall into another person's comfort or encouragement or whatever it is that they could be providing at that particular point. And so once you're aware of that, self-awareness, we talk a lot about it, you know, professionally, self-awareness, then what will you do with that awareness that would pull in your partner and let them know, you know, I'm at a very sensitive point of my life. If I don't do something with what I am feeling, I would, you know, that's the ideal. And of course, for sometimes the ideal is not very popular. You know, it's very, you'd want to use another different way of dealing with this vulnerability that you feel. But the ideal really is that you pull in someone else and your partner and become very vulnerable with them.
Definitely.
Yes, yeah.
Derek, you said you had a conversation with yourself for you to come to this decision and decide to forgive your wife after she asked for forgiveness. What would you say to men watching that are going through what you're going through? Because, I mean, your situation would be, it's a minority, it's the least likely situation when it comes to a traditional relationship between a man and a woman, and the woman is one who cheats, or wanasemango umwache na umwache, and that's the end. But you've made a different decision. So what would you say to a man watching who is maybe in the same position you were in that time?
For me, I would say I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not perfect too, and you know, when I called her, I asked her, okay, what was the reason why it pushed you to do this? And there are those things she said, and there are those things that I know I used to do. Like, we would quarrel a little bit and tell her, no, now you need to go out. You need to go completely. You need to get out of my life. You know, and now I've learned, you know, because mistakes will always be there. So now I've learned to first to cool. When I'm angry, I want just to keep quiet, reason it out before I react. Because most of the time we would quarrel on things, and I would be like, no, I just feel it's the end. You need to go away out of my life. And I feel that also led her to feel like she needed comfort, and she needed someone else better than me. So I don't always blame her on everything. I know there's that part that I also blame myself. And once I accepted the mistake, I forgave her, and I don't think it's ever going to repeat again. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I hope so too. And maybe you can tell us, how would you recommend that people who've been victims to cheating, victims to infidelity, and even the cheaters, how do you deal with the trauma? Because I feel like it's a traumatic experience. Because after that, how do you even look at your spouse and want to be physically intimate with them? You know, it's a shock. Your entire system is in shock.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that trauma?
Yes, I believe you're so right when you talk about the trauma that comes, you know, after the cheating, that really requires a lot of high support, you know. And I think one of the things that I do appreciate with Derek, you know, despite the fact, and I like the fact that he's taking responsibility of what he felt he could have done differently in this situation, in the way he handled it. But at the spur of the moment, you know, probably it's very normal, you know, what he did. But after that, and I know that's a discussion we're having in a certain marriage forum, or WhatsApp marriage forum, on the trauma that comes after you've been cheated, and even the one who's cheated. But you need, because it's physiological, you actually feel it emotionally, mentally, physiological, socially, you know, in really, in so many ways. But one of the things that I know that helps a lot is when you get a lot of support. You know, there's definitely something called debriefing, where when you keep, or talk therapy, when you keep talking about a situation with an objective of really getting help, there's a lot of healing that comes with that. Like for the person who's been cheated, you know, you can get a very conducive environment, a very supportive network system, friends or professionals, just really a place where you feel you can get that support. Talking about what you, because those things will keep hitting you, so talking about what you'll periodically keep experiencing, whether it's in your thoughts, because even those things can come at night when you really want to sleep, but they really hit you hard. But constantly talking about what you're experiencing as a result of that trauma. So that's talk therapy, debriefing. It's very, very important in a very conducive environment with an objective of getting here, you know, of getting help. Because again, we can be in a place, and still okay, but you can be in a place where you're just talking, but more bitterness, more negative energy
is what's coming
what's coming. It really takes you downward spiral. The other thing is, of course, some people's religious beliefs, you know, some practices, the personal practices that they have that can constantly bring a lot of that positive and the healing that they need. You know, could it be prayer? Could it be reading some words from the Bible, you know, that are more comforting, that are more healing? You know, though that's also very, very important. Yeah, but there are many other ways out there, but I know those two major ways are very, very important towards healing.
I saw you nodding a lot when she was talking about prayer and seeking outside counsels, and I want to ask whether you and your wife, do you consult with friends or family or the church, or just between you two? How have you gone about it?
I involved my pastor. He's called Pastor Peter from GOA, Kahawendani. He has been a mentor and a good friend to me, and he has really helped me throughout my marriage. Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. I wanted to know, do you feel like you've been able to overcome the trauma?
Yeah, right now I can comfortably say I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Right.
You've never been clapped on this show. How long has it been since? How long has it been?
3 months.
It's been 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah,
That was quick recovery, first
So
of
you've
all.
gotten consistent help, eh?
I'm good. Yeah, I've been visiting. I have that pastor of mine has been visiting me more often. We've been talking a lot. And also through the critics, sometimes I came to get used to them, and they have also made me strong somehow. Yeah.
Because that's what I wanted to ask. She mentioned that even the social groups that you're in, and in the beginning you'd said that socially people weren't taking it kindly. Even the comments on social, people had a lot to say, and you know people always want to
meddle others, as if we don't have our own problems.
That's the thing, but we can't blame them because they cannot put the business out there. So it's that one of how do you deal with close friends? You know, because sometimes you get shocked. You're like, Susanata, you know. How did you deal with close friends criticizing your decision?
I would say it's tough because apart from friends, you're also forgetting family.
Oh yeah.
There are those family members who will feel you did the wrong thing, and this was not right. There are those who will feel they don't longer feel the respect to your wife. They don't respect her, or they feel she's not the right person for you. So at the end of the day, the most important view or decision is what you yourself will take.
Yeah. And again, you know, for the fact that you're a political aspirant, most people thought that him putting the video out there and getting that much traction, and then right after that article, it went to say that you're a political aspirant. It was like, okay, so is this like a public stand?
Yeah,
you know, like where you want
PR strategy.
Yeah, this
That's
is a
what
PR
it was,
strategy.
I've never seen it before.
But then using your wife as a bait, was that smart? So would you say it was a public stand?
It wasn't a public stand first, because as I said, when I was posting that video, I didn't see myself and my wife calling each other wife and husband again. So when I was posting that, there was nothing to do with politics, there was nothing to do with what I'm planning to buy or what I had bought before. It was just what I felt is, let me share this out, you know, because just felt when I do this, at least I'll punish her other than fighting her, other than overreacting on. I just said, let me do it. I didn't even think of the impact that it went after that.
We also have to recognize that for the lady to forgive you and to want to, you know, rebuild the marriage, that takes a lot of strength, honestly. Because the entire nation knows that you're a cheater.
Yeah, I think it's also the emphasis of at the end of the day, because the thing is, we'll really move on.
Yeah.
I mean, even this show is a great example. This is Relationship Wednesdays. We talk about different things every single week. So people do move on, and new topics come up, new viral videos come up, new infidelity scandals come up. So at the end of the day, I think it's that thing of remembering when you're with somebody and you're in a relationship with somebody, it's actually between the two of you. The rest of us will move on and talk about other people.
That's true.
So you're the two in the house together, or like especially for you guys who have a child together. So for people who have a child together, we'll move on. So what are you guys going to do once we're done with your story and it's not juicy anymore?
Also, I wanted to know, Anya, again, in the society, it's deemed that it's very easy for women to forgive when their men cheat. Why is that the case?
Yeah.
Which I'm very against. Why is that the case?
The society really, it's like very acceptable, socially acceptable for men to cheat, you know?
But why?
Yeah,
where does that come from?
Is it like a wire in the brain or something? Because it needs to be cut.
I know of course, I try to recall where we are coming from. Our forefathers, you know, our grandparents, and the polygamous thing of a husband having many wives.
Yeah.
But I think what we forget is the way it was done then. So different from the way it's been done today, of course. You can see the difference. So there's already like that kind of an acceptable thing that a man can have many wives, you know, many women, but a woman, you know, no, you have to take care of your home and all that. So I think there's also that connotation, only that now it's already very distorted today. You know, I try to think of, if you read the Bible of Jesus' time, the woman was being victimized in a very heavy way, but where was the man? We keep asking. So where was the man when they brought this woman who was termed as sinful, you know, immoral woman? So really, it's still it goes back to them days, you know, and I don't know, I don't understand, but basically we know that it's like socially acceptable that a man can wander and still come back home and is expected to continue living, you know, moving as life as usual. But the woman, it's a big no-no. It's a big no-no.
Like the way you're talking about a long time ago with polygamy, at least from the little I've read about it, is there was, first of all, socially it was acceptable. So even women knew that we will be many women in the home. But then it was also the only men that were polygamous are the ones that could be, which means you had a responsibility. Polygamy was you could have a wife if you know that you can take care of her and her children. There was a responsibility within society every time you took on a wife and you were to get children with her, that you were capable. So even with a lot of monogamous couples back then, maybe they weren't financially able, or the man wasn't financially able, so then he wouldn't bother taking on another wife. So even the social concept behind it was very different. It was a security thing, even for women it was a survival thing, because there weren't a lot of jobs that women could do like today the way they can. So being married was the job, it was the task, because then you'd have a roof over your head and you'd be protected.
That's true.
But now today, these days, let me ask you, because we were talking about this before in Makeup with Nixie, and I was asking her, I feel like in Nairobi, or maybe it's just me, it's it's like so viral now, and it's so normal.
Yeah.
And they always say everybody is somebody's ex, so everybody will have a past and have a past relationship. But in Nairobi these days, it's everybody is somebody else's current.
Yeah. So just know
So
you're not.
is there
you're not
something
the first.
happening in our city? Is it in the water? What's going on? Because everybody is cheating, and it's now becoming like, oh, okay, cash.
Wait, did you say in the water, like drinking water?
Yes, I'm wondering because it's
the
this
city council's problem because they're the ones who supply.
Should be
us
talking to
with water.
Kanjo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Do you deal with that a lot in your work? Have you found that it's more frequent?
Yeah.
And what is the
It
reason?
is. It is. I think it's just. Derek. What do you think from a man's point of view?
Yeah, exactly.
Would like to hear.
Do you think it's more? It's just me. Do you think it's more frequent now?
I don't know to say, I don't know if we blame the current situation, the hardship of life, or what, or the times are changing.
Right. So you're trying to
I
speak it,
just
like, I
can't
don't
help but laugh.
Yeah, but I think we're living in a time where men feel like, if my friend is having a side chick, why not me? And so do ladies feel the same, like, okay, if my man is doing this, let me also do it.
Yeah.
You know, I overheard on the radio, what he's saying. There was a talk on something similar, and this presenter on the radio was very okay with the idea that he needed to present. It was around Valentine's, and he said, oh, so men, now you have to panga yourself with all the women in your life. Utanza na nani. So he said, a man in real life has like 5 women, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of
Please
women.
tell me one
and
of
then
them
he
is
started,
his mother.
Okay, yeah, the first one was the mom.
One.
The second one was the wife. The third one was the sister. And then the fourth one was the daughter. And the fifth one was the side chick. And I was like, the fifth one, like, she's in the category, she's on the list, you know. And then they said, they asked, why is it necessary for a man to have a side chick? And somebody called in and responded that it's like having a burger without a Coke. So the burger is the main meal, then you need a Coke, so the Coke is the side chick. Yeah, so I feel like it's socially acceptable. But again, you know, when we talk about polygamy, it's a man having many wives. But at the same time, there is a term for a woman who has many husbands.
There you go, girl.
I think it's called polyandry.
Yes.
Yeah, get your Oxford dictionary. Yeah, it is, yeah, because I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so there is a story I read some other time, and it was highlighting that this particular woman had 2 husbands. I'm like, how is this?
Is that the one in Moranga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, how is this a story?
Yeah.
So, okay, so men are doing this every day, but it's not new. It's like,
okay, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that story, I stopped everything I was doing. I even asked the people sitting around me to be quiet so I could read that story, would give it my utmost attention. Because I was like, this woman, first of all, is a hero in my eyes. Because I was like,
against grain.
Exactly. And I mean, it's a term, it exists, it's being done. Why can't I do it if I'm able? And the thing is, they were living amicably together. It's not like the men used to come and fight every single day. No.
They'd already found their structure.
They were settled and calm.
Yeah.
I was like, if peace can be found,
even the men were okay with it.
Yeah.
So it's possible. Polyandry, people. Let's start accepting that as a social norm again.
as well.
Yeah,
So we can meet in the middle.
Yeah, let's balance. See, we're talking about gender equality and sensitivity, inclusivity. Where
Let
is
me
it?
ask you too. Who do you think cheats more, men or women?
The answer is men.
Men?
Yeah. I think so, according to statistics.
Now, there's a theory that people believe men cheat more, but it's because men are caught more.
Yeah.
So
Women don't get
might
caught.
be that we actually, the women, let me stop saying we, me, I'm outside there, I'm Susan looking at the men. It might be that men and women may cheat equally, or maybe the disparity is not as high, but the women are not being caught.
Women are smart.
Women
can multitask.
Which makes Derek a ninja for having that sixth sense to be like, apalata niende. But so why do you think it is that there's that thing of women are cheating, but maybe they don't get caught? Are we just smarter? Please say it on national television.
Oh my God. That's another good way of looking at it, a very good insight. But I also feel, apart from, you know, we also can cheat emotionally, and we women, we are good. We feel satisfied. We get that emotional satisfaction. when we are flirting, we are getting all the attention, and honestly, we can go on weeks after weeks, and we are feeling very good, even if we've not given ourselves physically to the man.
Right.
So there's also that aspect that really protects many who are not innocent. They're actually unfaithful, but in a completely different way. You know, compared to now a man who will, this is the first time, and they're physically involved.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's about being smart about how you cheat.
How you
Yeah. Maybe as we're winding up, maybe Derek, you can tell us what political aspirancy you have coming up.
Yeah, I have a vision, and I'm an aspirant. I'm planning to vie for an MCA seat in Kahawendani. That's my residence. That's where I stay. Hiyo ndio mtaa yangu. So I know, that's where I've hustled with motorbike guys. We have hustled there, and I believe in their support. And time for change is now. And kijana ni huyu.
Nice. Amefika. And then we've talked a lot about self-awareness and getting to know your own individual beliefs, your own values and whatnot. Maybe you can tell people where they... I mean, you've been at it for 15 years. Honestly, anything you'd tell me, I'd buy at this point, And I believe so many of our audience are in that same category. Maybe you can tell them where they can find you and where they can actually get these services.
All right.
Yeah.
So where am I? All right. Okay.
Main camera on this one.
Yeah, I work for Partners in Wellness, Counseling and Training. And so it's an organization where we offer we offer our services for any organization, in terms of their staff. We have a package where we can come offer our services in case you need debriefing, you need supervision for counselors, we need counseling, because again, we're in a heavily stressed society, so we offer our services as an organization.
Oh, nice.
Oh, so you don't do like individual?
I do.
Oh, you also do?
Yes, I do. An individual. All those are the services, the counseling services we offer. We can do as an organization, corporate, or even individual.
You said it's called what again?
Partners in Wellness, Counseling and Training, Consultancy.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think, by the way, it's important that, because most of the times, when you hear the word therapist, especially in the African setup, it's that one of, are you calling me mad?
Yeah.
There is a fear around it. How can we break that? I feel like we should break it.
Honestly, I think everyone should go to therapy.
Yeah,
it's
everybody
not necessarily
needs
about trauma.
That's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that you're going through something. Maybe sometimes you just need to knock on the door and go check yourself. Yeah. So is that a thing that you can advice that people should do?
We really appreciate this point that you're really bringing up, because that's really what you're trying to sensitize the society with. The fact that we've grown from where we are coming from, but like the stigma, the therapy has been given, it is a psychiatric kind of, of a service, yet like what you're saying, if I have a headache, I have some pains in my body, I go see a doctor.
Exactly.
When you go through some emotional pain, when you go through some mental disturbances, anything in relation to that, a dilemma, you feel like you're in a crossroad, you do not know what to do.
Right.
You need some support. You definitely need a therapist. Actually, I see just the way we have personal doctors, we need to have a personal therapist. You can bounce something that you're not really clear about with. And they're able to use their facilitation skills to finally have a clarity of mind. They may not even give you the solution, but once you come from that one hour session, let me tell you, there's just a clarity you get, and like a wellness, you experience some energy that you're able to find your way after that. However, but at least you come out of that place feeling some clarity of mind. So a therapist,
I agree.
It's a go-to, and you can find Anne. I want to start by saying thank you so much to you and to Derek for coming on the show and sharing with us. The conversation is going to keep going, guys, but coming up next, we have Keeping It Real, okay? And I told you at the beginning of the show, I'm going to say it again. This is when we answer all your relationship questions. So tweet us, use the hashtag KTN Life and Style, hashtag Relationship Wednesdays, and we are going to be right back with Keeping It Real with Benji Dolo and Chantel Petit. They're in the building, so things are about to get very interesting. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back after the break.